Okay, folks, Spittin' Cobra. Here we go again. Folks, we have to realize this happens daily, every day, several times a day with officers training officers. We have to realize this is not officers protecting and serving. This is a business. Policing is a business. They're out to take our money. They're out to take our freedom. It's a business. They have to collect as much money as possible so they can buy their new cars and their guns and their crime scene tape. Guys, you will not believe this. I mean, there's actual bets being made about this stop. You just won't believe this. Please watch this video and share it everywhere. That's why I do this. I want everybody to see this.
Report from the ABC 15 investigators. Let's begin by taking you back to last year. A black man stopped only for his car air freshener. Then a La Paz County deputy repeatedly questioning him about whether he smoked marijuana. That deputy was Eli Max, and that traffic stop both disturbing and unconstitutional.
So ABC 15 investigator Dave Biskobing decided to dig a little deeper, and tonight he found this deputy has done the same thing over and over again.
Once Deputy Eli Max's actions finally...
Over and over again. Yes, Eli Max was fired, but how many officers has he trained?
Hit the news, he was fired. But before he was, we obtained video showing him make roadside bets, bad arrests, threats, even training other officers. It's July 26, 2019. Deputy Eli Max and his trainees stopped this car for speeding. The driver headed to Lake Havasu from California.
You got your license, registration? You don't have any weapons in here, do you? Okay.
Yes, that's Deputy Max whispering to ask about marijuana less than 30 seconds into the stop. Listen again.
You guys have any marijuana in the car or anything like that? Nothing at all? Even just a little bit, personal amount? Okay.
And then, as they run the driver's info...
How much weed do you think is in that car? I think there is. I don't think there is, but... You want to try to get it, and I'll watch you work? I'm interested. I don't think there is. So if you think there is, and you think you can get some, show me the way, man.
Now listen to Max's reasoning.
28 years old, coming from California, a state that is completely legal. They're heading to Havasu, which is not only a party town, but it's a vacation weekend. The age range for people who consume marijuana are between the ages of 12 and 75 years old.
Then they make a bet.
You go ahead. I'll write this, and if you get something, dude, I'll buy you something. I'll be back.
I'll buy you something. Guys, this happens daily, every day on the road with cops. They're not out to protect us. They're out to take our money.
Max searches the car. The body camera video abruptly shuts off. There's no more. But check online records of the stop. No drug possession charges, just a speeding ticket. Deputy Eli Max worked for the La Paz County Sheriff's Office for about 3 years, patrolling the rural highways. He was fired partially because of the air freshener stop of Philip Colbert on September 19, 2019. The video will sound familiar.
Banning marijuana in the car? You smoke marijuana? When's the last time you did smoke marijuana?
2 days later, September 21st, records show Max stopped a mother, repeatedly accused her of driving drunk, although she wasn't, and then told her if she kept drinking, quote, her kids would be, well, you see. Here's a stop from September 4th, 2019. Max, again with the trainee, Deputy Jordan Lang. The truck stopped for allegedly rolling a stop sign. You can probably guess what's about to happen.
How much did you have to drink tonight?
Nothing.
Okay. How about, when was the last time you smoked marijuana?
Not at all.
Okay. I just asked because your eyes are kind of like red and glossy.
When trainee Lane goes back to talk to Max inside the patrol car.
See, there it is. It's, your eyes are kind of glassy. It's their in. when you hear an officer say that to you, that's when you must turn on your video. Even if you don't get video, at least get the audio recording.
He tells Max that the driver is shaky. The driver claimed it was because he's tired and nervous.
Tiredness does not equal muscle tension. Yeah. Or nervousness.
Okay, have fun. See you later. Quote, have fun.
Begin the test.
They do field sobriety, find no drugs, yet decide the driver is under the influence, despite his denials.
I guarantee if you put cuffs on this guy and say you're under arrest for DUI, he's going to be like, yeah, I smoked a few hours ago. And if he wants to stick to his guns, then and he's showing signs of symptoms, then you can make a good faith arrest.
This happens every day.
All right. I feel comfortable with that. Yeah, we have quite a lot.
So they arrest him, and it turns out...
Yes, people, be afraid. Every time you get pulled over, these cops are not there to help you. They're there to take you to jail.
The deputies do have quite a lot of nothing. Here's the driver's blood test results.
We are. If we were to run a blood test on you, what's going to come back?
No drugs, just maybe too little food.
Okay.
Probably need some more.
Okay.
I kind of have problems with eating sometimes.
I'm Investigator Dave Biskuping, ABC 15, Arizona.
We asked the La Paz County Sheriff's Office about whether oversight was an issue. Officials sent us the following response, quote, "We do our best to ensure the citizens are receiving fair and balanced service from our officers. We have nearly 5,000 square miles to cover. However, there are times that our staff can go without direct supervision for quite some time." To watch our original...
Why? If they're trained properly, why do they need direct fucking supervision? Fucking idiots.
Investigation into Deputy Max. Just go to our website at abc15.com/investigators.
Homeowners, listen to this.
Okay, guys. That was it on that one. Spittin' Cobra, bringing it to you real. I'm out. Okay, guys, let's just keep this going. Spittin' Cobra, bringing you another one. Check this video out.
A Phoenix police officer now under investigation by his own department.
And that's due to new information uncovered by ABC 15 investigator Melissa Blasius, looking into citizen complaints of police misconduct for more than a year, airing nearly 100 stories. 1 week ago, she showed you mounting complaints against Phoenix's most senior DUI officer, Michael McGillis. And tonight, she finds Officer McGillis is also...
Remember that name, Officer McGillis.
Crossing the line by ignoring police policies, giving prosecutors an unfair advantage in court.
Drunk drivers can hurt or kill people, which is why DUI enforcement makes us all safer. But the officers who are making these arrests cannot violate police policy, cannot manipulate their reports or cameras, and cannot violate people's civil rights, even if it results in more DUI convictions. Why am I getting pulled over? Excuse me. Look back. Stop. By now, you've likely seen Mariah Valenzuela's arrest. Mariah filed a civil rights lawsuit against Officer Michael McGillis in January, but she's not alone in alleging this cop was too rude or violent while making traffic stops. 7 other drivers made formal complaints in recent years.
Stop! Why don't you act like a young lady?
Something McGillis said on camera after arresting Mariah, something we noticed this week, is now being scrutinized as both a possible violation of Phoenix police policy and defendants' rights to fair trials.
Once again, folks, I'll bring it back to you. They're not out there to serve and protect. Policing is a business. That's why they do what they do. They have to try and draw as much money as possible.
When they stop a vehicle and there's passengers, it doesn't have to be a wreck. Everyone's a victim.
McGillis's body camera catches him telling a sergeant how to manipulate information on DUI reports to give prosecutors an advantage.
So if you put a passenger, they're defense witnesses. If you put them as victims, they're state witnesses.
Really?
And they don't get to interview them, they only get to cross.
They only get
And they don't get to conjure up a BS story.
McGillis was really trying to sell.
See, there are ways that these officers do things to where they can guarantee that there's going to be a huge fine for the state.
His theory.
Okay, the state's a victim. Okay, so is a child. Child's in a car seat, under 15, it's a victim.
Right.
So all your passengers are victims.
But that conflicts with Phoenix police policy. Right here, Operations Order 6.4 says names of witnesses, occupants will be listed in the incident report's other persons section. It's something you'd expect the city's most senior DUI motorcycle officer to know. But here's a 2019 DUI report where McGillis seems to ignore the policy and lists all 3 passengers as victims.
It's absolutely falsifying a police report. And you essentially are violating the person's constitutional rights.
Strong reaction from local defense attorneys who face Officer McGillis in court.
My overall impression of this guy is that he shouldn't be a police officer.
When I watched that, the first
I
thing
agree.
I thought of was shady police work.
The sergeant does not correct McGillis about policy or training. Instead, he listens, jotting notes.
Because don't sit there in court going, it didn't happen like that.
Defense attorneys often interview DUI witnesses to learn how the driver was behaving on the road and how the officer handled the stop, sobriety tests, and the arrest. The defense can call them to testify regardless of whether the prosecution does. But victims, they get special protections from the prosecutor's office, victims' rights, which limits defense attorneys' access to them.
You are interfering with a person's due process, their right to a fair trial. You're interfering with witnesses that are part of the investigation.
After the ABC 15 investigators sent these video clips and questions to the Phoenix Police Department, Sergeant Ann Justice emailed us back saying the Professional Standards Bureau is investigating the statements made by Officer McGillis. But he's still on regular duty.
Where is he going to be tonight? He's going to be out there in his van pulling more people over.
You know that's goddamn right.
We asked the city prosecutor's office if they were okay with McGillis's tactics. The response, the city prosecutor's office does not oversee the police department or direct police officers in the performance of their duties, adding victims are ultimately designated by prosecutors. They won't say how often they deviate from Officer McGillis's designation. Again, Officer McGillis is involved in hundreds of DUI cases.
Hundreds.
It's unclear, though, how many of those cases will be affected by this new information that he's been inappropriately marking vehicle occupants as victims in the case. I'm investigator Melissa Blasius, ABC 15.
See? Guys, this happens daily. Daily. Come on. We have to learn this stuff. We have to put it into our heads. We have to know our rights. Spittin' Cobra. Again, bringing it to you real.